Gotta get them clicks, you know. This is low key fun, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's just fun as hell. So if you're watching and you're curious about what's going on, nothing's going on. I just want to get them clicks. Because YouTube likes drama, and I mean, it's not. I'm not lying to a point. It's just he's not a friend. He's a great. He's not a fan. He's a great friend of mine. John is. He's trying to get exposed, you know. I'm kidding. He's not going to expose anything. I mean, if anything, he's just going to tell people about my past. I mean, which isn't bad. But he's a friend, so I'm like, you know, I don't know. I'm weird. Okay, like it's not exposing if it's wrong. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. All this is just, I don't know. I like to play into people's shit. I don't know. Fucking, I'm weird. Okay. But yeah. So I mean, I am in the middle of my friend. Okay. Well, he's a friend because first of all, you know, he's a friend, and yeah. I don't know what you came here for. You're not gonna get it because nothing's really going on. It's nothing really serious. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna chill, and we're gonna chill. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. I just wanted to talk to people. I just want attention. Sadly, sadly, that's how a person with no attachment with attachment issues have this problem. You know, it's just how it works, man. It's just how it works, bro. Shit just happens. Um, yeah, I'm just weird like that. Huh. Your boy exposed. They exposed your boy. No, okay. Let me. I guess let me. I can tell y'all. Really, the thing is that I try to keep my past pretty much a secret. Not too much of a secret, but um, on Twitter and online, uh, I have a profile picture that's not my face on there for a reason. You know, to keep like it's basically like a it's like a way for me to. I think a lot of people can agree to this and can attest to this when I say that um, having an alternate account where you can just go wild and just say and just do whatever and say your opinions and do crazy shit is a lot easier than having your actual account. Because I have two Twitter accounts, and one of the Twitter accounts, Jotachio, is for basically for me just wilding out, saying shit, that I feel like I need to say at that time, or saying an opinion that I know people are not gonna like, and stuff like that. And I try to keep my background pretty. Um, I can't try to keep it pretty secret. I'm not perfect. Try to keep a lot of stuff secret, so it's how I haven't gotten killed yet, or beat up. How I should say, So I don't know. It's just a lot of people agree that it's easier to have a fake account that's you behind the account, but it's not you, that you're not presenting yourself. You're presenting a persona of yourself, so you won't feel like you're the one that's in trouble when something does happen to your account. So I don't know. It's one of those weird things, right? And I have said some shit, and honestly, a lot of it is my opinion on a certain topic. People don't like to hear your opinion because they just want to argue, and they don't want to have to think about their own opinion, which may be wrong because it's uninformed, but it's just how it works sometimes. So, but yeah, it's how it works. I may be a little crazy, just a little bit, just enough to keep people guessing. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. It's how things work out. Um, I don't know what to talk about. Besides the fact that I'm a bitch. It's how things work out. Put some respect on his name. I need some respect on his name. Put some respect on my name. I'm kidding. Don't respect me. Okay. Do whatever you feel like. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. If you feel like you didn't do anything, don't apologize. Hey, leave. My thumb hurts. Because I put it in your ass too early. I'm kidding. Ow. Fuck, man. My thumb hurts. Oh, man. What is life anymore? So this one's gonna be short because I really have nothing really to talk about. Not really, nothing really going on. I just put that title on thumbnail because I thought it was funny. I don't know. Young bands, 20 bands.
Araki forgot. For the uninitiated, this is a widespread phrase used by the JOJO's fandom to poke fun at Araki's tendency to start each part of a series off with a ton of plot threads, some of which never quite seem to tie together in the end. And that's putting it nicely. Let's just say that Hirohiko Araki would not have become the juggernaut franchise-spawning mangaka he is today based solely on his writing ability. If mangakas were born out of a pick-two minigame with the options being masterful art, consistent release schedule, and story writing capabilities, Araki would have mashed select through the options before he even realized what was going on. Which is fine, because we all know the only one who can truly embody all three is Mizuki Kawashita, the female author of the harem romantic comedy shonen, Ichigo 100%.
Wow, I never.
There's so many of these Araki forgot moments that 10 people could list one from each animated part and have a non-zero chance of getting 50 unique answers. Here are my personal favorites that I'll use to set the stage. Remember in Phantom Blood when Dio made chimeras? And remember how we have no idea if they adhere to the same rules as vampires or not? Remember Joseph's clackers and battle tendency? Remember how nobody could just deflect the Emerald Splash in Stardust Crusaders? Or how you could change the size of your stand until you couldn't? Or how
Bro! Oh my god, that's true. I forgot about that. You can literally change the size of the stand until it just never happened again. That's crazy.
Star Platinum bring him things in his prison cell even though he's a close range stand. Or how the entirety of part 3 is a walking enigma but nobody really seems to care.
True. It is. Part 3 was weird, right? A lot of shit did happen in part 3.
Remember how Josuke went back? Part 3 and I have some beef. Remember how Josuke went back in time to save his baby self in that snowstorm and that?
Yeah, like that's one thing. That's the main one I was wondering about. Like, what happened? Like, what happened there? Why? How did Josuke save himself as a baby? But they never revisit that ever again.
Diamond is unbreakable. And remember Fugo and Golden Wind?
Yeah.
One of these things is not like the others. Of course I remember Fugo, I hear you saying. As a self-proclaimed 150 IQ genius watching anime video essays on YouTube, striking JoJo's poses in any mirror I walk in front of, and enjoying my third Diet Coke of the day, he was truly the only character I could relate to. And I'll give you that. I'll give you all of that. Any person who even passively watched one episode in the first half of Golden Wind would know about Angry Dad with Swiss cheese clothes. But his sudden, unforeshadowed departure from Bucciolati's squad resembles some of those previously mentioned Araki forgot moments shockingly well.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I read the story. Not read the story, but I watched videos and I read some stuff about the whole Araki and Fugo thing. Like, it doesn't seem like
taking the towel downstairs.
He forgot. It seems like he just he just didn't want him in the story again. Like, I don't think he forgot about Fugo. He just pushed him off. He's just like, I don't feel like he needs to be in the story anymore. Simple as that.
The point of this video. Put simply, Araki never forgets. Everything written hastily into and sloppily out of a JoJo story share some key similarities in form and purpose, and Fugo's characterization and truncated journey provide an unfiltered look into the author's inner machinations. Taking into account his brief introduction, thematic relevance, altered path, and swift departure, we can use Fugo as a lens to expose Araki's unique writing style that has been both mocked and lauded over the course of 3 decades. As such, I'll
3
be using Fugo as an
decades.
example of how Araki 1. Introduces a character, item, power, or etc. into his plot. 2. Cares more about symbols and themes than power scaling things in their early stages, often to his detriment. 3. Changes original interlocking narrative paths of established things. And 4. Refuses to call attention to any under-the-surface changes he makes to his stories. Now to address some likely concerns before we dive into the upcoming mess. Yes, I know that Fugo's backstory from the anime is partially composed of filler. However, as this adaptation of it only adds to the manga original, I will be considering it canonical for the purposes of better background footage. I have read Purple Haze feedback, and because it's also filler that overlaps with the additions that the anime has made, I'll be arbitrarily disregarding it altogether. Further, anything that supposedly happens with Fugo after he dips from the OG squad has no prevalence here, so I won't even consider approaching that. Most importantly, I know Araki's excuse for why Fugo's ending was so abrupt. In a very vulnerable moment in his life, Araki's writing turned downright dismal, manifesting within Golden Wind. After coming out of the slump, he needed to change the plot to better reflect his new state of mind. Fugo was originally written as a traitor of Bucciolati, but as we now know, was set on a much different narrative path.
That's true, yeah.
According to our Lord and Savior, this was to save the sanctity of the camaraderie built up over the course of dozens of chapters and leave behind a more lighthearted end product. This is mostly relevant to what I'm here to talk about today because it only tells us that the plot needed to be changed around Fugo, not necessarily that Fugo needed to be removed. I'm not saying I could have written it better, but there must be an alternate universe where he makes it to the end of Golden Wind alongside Bucciolati and Narancia. Okay, maybe not Narancia. And maybe not Bucciolati either.
Maybe because they're yikes.
And this last point brings up something important. Across the board, I would never pretend to understand when or why Araki decides to alter plot threads halfway through writing them, but that's besides the point. What truly matters here is, once the story changes, why Araki decides to remove things, along with similarities in what is taken out and how it's done. So let's get started, shall we? Part 1. Purposeful introduction. You could argue that JOJO's is as immensely popular as it is for any number of a dozen reasons, but there's no doubt in my mind that accessibility is an important draw. While One Piece is charging ahead with over 900 manga chapters, bursting at the seams with foreshadowing, world building, and interconnectedness from start to finish, JOJO's is restricted to relatively brief, no longer than 200 chapter long parts, with very little overlap between them. Hunter x Hunter may owe a lot of its success to its incredibly complex, fleshed out power system of Nen, but JOJO seems to do just fine with the rules, who needs them system.
That's true. Like stands don't really have rules. They just shit can just happen because that's kind of what he built the show to be. Like Harmon did have rules, but as soon as he introduced stands, it gave him form to really just do anything with the characters. Like any new character, they can literally have any type of ability and work, right? Just depends on what's going on. You've hit bedrock. Leaf. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Spin and stands acting intent. And even though a character's reveal can be made more impactful by foreshadowing done hundreds of chapters in advance, think Naruto's Obito. Who says you can't just meet a degenerate in an alleyway and have him become the head of an organization with its name plastered across every part to follow?
Facts. We don't even know why he was there that day. He just randomly popped up in front of Jonathan, like, I'm gonna kill you, Jonathan. Like, oh nope, I guess we're gonna be best friends, and I'm gonna take care of your family for the rest of their fucking lives. It doesn't matter until I die. And it's like, geez. Speedwagon is best boy, okay?
JoJo's is quite possibly the easiest shonen to get into, due in part to how little background info you need, or even desire, when it comes to introduction. When a character, plot-relevant item, location, power, or in-universe video game is, it takes but a moment before the universal enjoyability leaking from the series has you saying, "Oh, that's a baseball."
Oh yeah, that's the
baseball. Ignoring genre-defining tropes, introductions of narrative pieces in JoJo show an almost complete disregard to the established past. Instead, Araki chooses to throw in pieces that are likely to be fun in the future, and their existence is justified by that fact alone. For enemy stand powers, it's a lot of, "Oh, I think it would be cool if the stand were a sun. So if I make his fight enjoyable to read, nobody would really care if he wields Dio's one weakness." For key items, it's more, "These clackers channel Ripple because of course they do, dummy. Isn't it pretty? And also Pog?" And for characters, mostly, "Here's a new guy that checks off all the boxes to be interesting at a glance, and I'll be sure to give them the potential for growth later on, should that make the story more enjoyable." Fugo's first appearance is definitely something.
It's hilarious.
Stabbing someone in the cheek with a fork for getting a math question wrong definitely checks off something considered to be interesting at a glance. Years to get both Giorno and the audience on the side from square one. Whereas a character like Shigechi had to justify his existence, Fugo effortlessly fits the mold for what readers and viewers desired out of an Italian gangster. At this point, his backstory is irrelevant so long as he is uninteresting. So hiding as much about him as possible serves the dual purpose of creating an aura of mystique and avoiding devoting too much energy into a plot thread that Araki may suddenly denote unimportant. Should Araki have decided he didn't want to do anything more with Fugo after just the introduction, his framework was loose enough for him to drop in like it's hot. Much like the segment in Diamond is Unbreakable where Josuke saved Josuke, Araki could have chosen to take the plot in a completely different direction, throw away the character with reckless abandon, and shift focus into new matters. In order to fit his on-the-fly, emotionally driven writing style, Araki consistently keeps introductions brief and ambiguous until he moves on to his next phase for them. Fugo, obviously, passed the introduction phase and moved rather quickly into a new territory that I prefer to call Part 2. Supernova symbolism.
Part 2.
Dramaticism in JoJo's is not subtle, especially in Parts 3 and up. For MacGuffins, their symbolism is usually tied to their function, like stand arrows causing those harmed by them to undergo an awakening as a result of physical trauma or die before they can cope with and grow from it. And if you truly believe there is deeper symbolism for something like the arrows, I can almost guarantee Araki would disagree. Similarly, certain minor characters may be introduced to serve a single thematic purpose, such as Pericolo appearing as an unquestioning follower of Diavola, willing to kill himself at the command of his boss because of the comfortable life he had been gifted. A simple 1-minute segment like this did wonders in setting up the dually powerful and brutal nature of the Passione boss.
That's true.
Branching from that, the most prevalent and obvious form of symbolism in the character-driven bizarre adventure.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Shit crazy, bro.
Manifests in stands and stand powers. Stands as projections of their users.
Hey, Sec, what's good, man? What's good, Sec? Don't worry about the title and thumbnail. That's clickbait. Obviously, it's clickbait. All right. I just want to see how people will react to that. Hopefully, people. I don't know. I don't know why I did it. I just did it because I felt like doing it at the time. Okay. We're watching a video talking about JoJo. Okay.
Conscious or unconscious psyche give a thorough look into the minds of all users. Although the look is primarily at the fighting spirit, since that is the form that most stands ordinarily take, most of Araki's stories take place during the most brutal segments of a protagonist's life. So there's no lack of bare knuckle roles. From what I've seen, the primary method of writing stand powers follows 2 specific rules. Make sure the user's most important characteristic is reflected in some way, and do not worry about balancing for power or following pre-established.
Fuck the rules. There's no specific rules for a stand. That's true.
Rules. Now, how does any of this apply to my attempted deconstruction of Araki Forgotten? Well, although the deeper meanings of items, characters, and stands in JoJo's may be in high volume, they're introduced comparable to a supernova. Aside from each part sent down that path or cast aside and forgotten. That is to say, this writing technique works in tandem with Araki's off-the-cuff brainstorming style, and it is clearly observed in the backstory and subsequent fight scene of Fugo. A thematic dissection of Fugo and his stand could be done with a butter knife and a rusty pair of tweezers. That's not to say it's bad. That's just to say it's pretty easy.
It's pretty,
yeah. His backstory, Panikati Fugo was born with nearly unmatched mental prowess, said to hold an IQ of 150. His genius became a major source of esteem and local fame for his family.
Work day is over. 4 videos dropped today. That's what's up, man. I like it, bro. Thank you. I didn't take long to make it, but hey, it was fun to make, that's for sure. Good damn now. Thank you. Update.
And as a result, his parents began pushing him to study long and hard hours to best make use of his gift. Due in large part to the immense stress placed upon him by his parents, Fugo developed a nearly uncontrollable temper. When placed into a stressful situation, he often could hardly control his bloodlust, almost stabbing his father in the back after an especially overwhelming day of study. After entering college at the age of just 13, he was taken advantage of by his professors until he couldn't contain his encyclopedia, led to his expulsion from the university, followed closely by his disownment by his family due to their freshly tarnished name. After wandering the streets for a short time performing petty crimes for just enough money to get by, Bucciolati noticed Fugo's skills and took the young boy in. Fast forward 3 years of gang experience, and we reach the time frame of Golden Wind. Like I said before, there's no subtlety here. Parallels between his physically nurturing, mentally abusive parents and mentally nurturing, physically abusive professor created a double helix downward spiral after his expulsion. Beating someone over the head with an encyclopedia was the bridge between intellect and violence that Fugo had been trying to avoid for years. And once he embraced the violence, his entire life broke down around him. And from this violent aspect of his personality that he deeply hated, his stand power manifested, creating the disgustingly overpowered purple haze.
Super
Fugo's
overpowered.
stand and his relationship to it perfectly mirrors how utterly terrified both he and the world are of his violent outbursts and volcanic bloodlust. The virus that his stand excretes harms indiscriminately, harboring no concept of friend or foe, much like how Fugo loses all sense of allegiance when made angry. On top of that, should Fugo be caught in the range of his own stand, the virus could destroy him from the inside out. Much like how his dual personality led to him becoming an outcast of society, this manifestation of his spirit is inherently opposed to Fugo's desire to avoid conflict and make full use of his intellect. With this combined, our Strawberry King only brings out a stand in a fight as a last resort. Much like how his encyclopedic escapade was the last thing his genius could conjure up to avoid the sexual abuse of his professor. And with his single fight against the man in the mirror, all possible themes tied to Fugo were exposed. In one fell swoop, we were exposed to the entire depth of his character, start to finish, end to end, cover to cover.
True.
Of note here is how absolutely busted Purple Haze's stand power was during this brief showing.
Oh my god, his stand is OP. It's not even fair. He can be by anybody and kill them. It's not even hard. I mean, you just have to punch first, but like that's not hard. Dude is OP, man. Thumbnails aren't for me. Thumbnails are pretty simple. Personally, because I guess I just have experience. I've been making YouTube videos since 2017, 2016. I know how to make thumbnails now. They're not hard to make for me. Thing about it is just trying to figure out the more of the details of graphic design. I can make thumbnails, I can make PNGs, I can do all that stuff, right? And I don't know. I mean, it's fun. I enjoy it. Sack, if you want to make some pretty good thumbnails, just go to canva.com. Just go to Canva. That's all it's called. It's called canva.com. And you can make pretty much anything graphic design wise there, and it has everything pre-made for you. It's perfect. It's perfect for YouTubers and anybody who has a marketing anything, right? It's perfect. It's beautiful. I mean, and they have small classes, not classes, but like videos that tell you how to give you tips on how to make a good, visual and stuff. So that's what I've been using, and it's perfect, so for me, you just get better as time goes by,
By coming within a specific radius of it at any time during its deployment, you become infected with an incurable, fast-acting virus that destroys you in mere seconds. Although Fugo may not be able to fully control how it moves, the fact remains that it can charge at you in less time than you can react. Fugo's abilities, although they're incredibly symbolic of his character, are like pressing an instant win button. And this is by Araki's design. When it comes to any stand powers, Araki could care less if they're balanced in their initial showing. His philosophy comes down to, if it makes for a good fight and has any thematic relevance, the stand could stop time for all I care.
That's true.
For one-off characters or fights in the final act, the issue of power scaling becomes somewhat irrelevant. Writing your protagonist out of a seemingly unwinnable situation absolutely makes for an intense, gripping form of storytelling, and giving your hero the true power they crave in the final hour can prove cathartic beyond belief. However, for returning on the audience's behalf to think that the power just didn't scale well during the progression of the story, someone may have been lying when the ability was first introduced, but the power doesn't go anywhere. Ask Hierophant Green and everyone who could suddenly just reflect the Emerald Splash. However, if overwhelming strength is a defining aspect of how an ability reflects its character, it needs to walk a lonely road. Giorno's sensory overload punch, meant to show how he hoped to breathe new life into Passione through becoming a gangster, never makes a reappearance, until the very end if you can even count that, because insta-win potential is its defining characteristic. Should Giorno breathe even an ounce of new life into Passione and its members, that signals his victory. As for Fugo, someone whose entire stand is based off unbeatability, guess who is destined for the second option? However, much like how some stand abilities are pushed aside in favor of Araki power scaling in a different direction, Fugo was at least given the courtesy of being allowed to walk briefly down a part 3, altered path.
Altered path.
After the insane length of my last part, I'll keep this one short. Much like Fugo's involvement after his first fight, if you know what I'm saying.
Got him. Wow, okay.
Once Araki realizes that he's done writing about something, there's no doubt in my mind that he wishes everyone would just forget it ever existed in the first place. Because he's constantly writing his story as it's being serialized, his motivations, aims, and most importantly, story direction are being revamped on a weekly basis. After getting bored of writing about the same thing for months on end, Araki forces himself to come up with new plot threads that could potentially lead to stunning art and gratifying storytelling. Even if they're one-off ideas, Araki is more than willing to write himself into a normally inescapable narrative corner, just because it gives him the ability to flex a bit, keep one-upping the insanity of JoJo's. A one-to-one match with his unique brand of sort of literature, like King Crimson, it just works. Telling a character's entire life story all at once works wonders when you only truly care about two possible outcomes. On one hand, by thrusting an item character ability into the limelight, you give it a chance. Red's fight against Silver Chariot is my favorite example of this, because no matter which way you try and slice the chicken, that scene in the anime is the most fantastic animation we've seen out of David Productions thus far.
It's a good fight,
Any
yeah.
potential variation of a fire ability is used to stunning effect, and even though we never see Abdul go that hard again, I could say I'm beyond satisfied. On the other hand, there is a second path that Araki often writes for things, and boy howdy are we well familiar with it by now. Good night, stars. Good night, moon. Good night, punches. That goes on.
Good night,
Good night,
punches.
sky. Good night, air. Good night, stands that are just hair.
Facts.
Araki forgot you. Bye-bye you go. But before you leave, you should know. You have been written out of the story. Welcome to Araki's Purgatory.
Purgatory.
Once that idea has been sent to the farm up north, I hate to break it to you guys, it's never coming back. And much like a parent who isn't ready to teach their youngins the concept of death, Araki will try to distract his audience with new, fresh toys until you stop worrying about what happened to the little old man. And
For real, what happened to her, bro? What happened to this? Bro, I want to see her again. She was dope.
something is gained where something is lost. A new power replaces the last. A new MacGuffin takes precedence over an old one. And a new character will soon replace the one lost. As long as this change happens fast enough and is replaced with something of equal or greater value, then it's fine. When Fugo leaves, the moment is written as intelligently as I think Araki could have possibly done. He's given a path that aligns perfectly with his mentality of being unable to believe in himself for even a moment. Scared of what kind of person he would have to become in order to have a chance of beating the boss, and desperately worrying about the safety of his friends with him around as a wild card, Fugo leaves. Even though it makes thematic sense for him to leave, that doesn't make it any less jarring and sudden. Therefore, Araki treats the situation like any other where he suddenly drops a part of his story. Due to the immense danger associated with the remainder of the journey, Bucciolati's whole team becomes reinvigorated, and Trish is forced to step up to fill an open role. By awakening her stand and becoming somewhat of a tactician during the notorious big fight, it's hard to argue that she doesn't replace Fugo in all but name. On top of the additions that Araki makes to Golden Wind after the halfway point to help dull the pain, all of his following subtractions work toward the same goal. Subsequent character deaths provide incredibly heartfelt moments as bookends to their stories, and because of their adjacency to Fugo's departure, entice you into blending them all together in your memory. And all the action to follow just serves to provide greater and greater distance between the already forgettable moment and you, making you so busy that looking back and complaining about it just isn't worth your time. After Araki has thrown you off his scent, there is only one step left to Thanosing something from his universe. Part 4. Pretending to forget. Now this part is the most important. Araki must, and I cannot emphasize this enough.
What y'all saying? Is there anything of Stone Ocean being made into an anime? Not that I know of, but it will be a while. I know for sure, since if it's David Productions, it's going to be a minute before they make part 6, which sucks, but that's just, I mean, it only makes sense. You know, I feel like they're only going to go up to part 6 anyway, because the rest of the parts aren't really part of the original timeline. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could be, they could do anything, you know, but it's not gonna be anytime soon, that's for sure. You know, anything Oh, Sack, you should get into JoJo. Watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, man. This shit is beautiful. If you like action, if you like random shit happening, I don't know, just watch it, man. I can't really tell you anything about it because I just feel like it's just better if you just check it out yourself. There's if you have Netflix, it's on Netflix, but not all of it, but just the beginning parts is on Netflix. Then you can go to other what do you call it, anime sites like 9anime and just watch the rest of the parts. It's up to you though.
Never mention something he has written out of his story ever again under any circumstance.
True.
Deflect if you're in an interview. Do not take questions from fans at the end of your chapters, and do not even think about bringing up the past unless you have a thorough map to help you navigate the absolute minefield you've laid for yourself. By following these simple rules and talking primarily about the future of his franchise, Araki had avoided mass criticism for the longest time. To this end, he also has a quote from 1993. I could stay depressed about my bad memory, but that's the negative way to live. Let's look on the bright side. What's the advantages of having a bad memory? 1.
True.
You can reread a book and see a movie over and over, enjoyed as much as the first time.
True.
2. If you make an inconvenient promise, you can pretend that you forgot.
Bro, Araki is amazing.
3. This is the most important thing.
You keep coming up with ideas without being held back by or the past. So he can keep making up. He can keep making new shit, and not have to worry about the rules of the past, So I think what's interesting about him is that I feel like we should not worry about the story that he has given us and worry about what is he going to give us next, because that's what makes him so unique as an artist or as a writer and as a mangaka, is that he doesn't worry about what he's already established. That's already been established, but that's not going to be the rules that he's going to make for another story that he's going to have, right? It's going to be something totally different, so that's why I like that. That's good. Keeps things new, So personally, I as a writer or as a person that wants to write, I want to have my main story, but I always want to go back, and if I have something that I forgot, I can always just make like a spin-off or make like another timeline or something. Like that's something I would do, personally, but I won't forget what I made. It's just I'll keep the story as it's going, but I'll also have other things on the side that y'all can, that's made by me, that's officially will be canon,
You can keep coming up with ideas without being held back by convictions or the past. First off, adorable.
He really is adorable. I used to watch Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is an anime. Who was badass? And there's a lot of females in Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't watched it in a while, but
second off, do you see what he's doing? He uses his bad memory as an excuse to pardon the writing he has become so famous for, and leans into it as hard as he can without making it too unbelievable. On separate occasions, he has mentioned that he hams up his poor memory. Mostly to get away with so much more in JoJo's, and it definitely works. By making the excuse without ever bringing up any individual examples in detail, Araki succeeded in his goal of being able to write a gratifying story without being held back by convictions or the past. But Fugo is a unique case. For him, Araki actively brought him up later on, exposing his mistakes in order to do justice to one of his favorite characters. Araki opened himself up to be lambasted in order to give his lad the send-off that he truly deserved, and in the process, exposed the quirks of his writing style outright. Out of it, Araki did end up getting what he wanted. Purple Haze Feedback is the definitive end to Fugo's story that anybody could want, let alone someone who considers the character his friend through a time of emotional crisis. However, because of Araki's moment of weakness, he opened himself fully to the Araki Forgot meme. It's definitely coincidental that Golden Wind's original run occurred alongside the boom of internet blogs in the late 1990s and early 2000s, and it's even more serendipitous that its re-release happened during the social media boom of the mid-2000s. Nonetheless, these places became aggregate sources for news and discussion on the most niche topics imaginable. When you have the time, place, and motivation to do it, it is ridiculously easy to go back through the series time and time again, finding new examples of dropped JoJo's threads on every run-through. From this, in my mind at least, Araki Forgot was born. But more important to the purpose of my argument, Araki Forgot persisted. If given an easy escape from a looming problem, would anyone not take it? By allowing the meme to live and flourish, that's what the unaging mangaka has done. The audience has done the dirty deed of providing him an excuse for the only truly criticizable part of his stardom. So why would he not just run with it? Through
True.
the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, Araki has continued to write in his trademark style, growing more powerful and increasing his lifespan with each chapter's release. However, as I hope we've been able to explain in excruciating, unarguable detail over the
It's gonna suck. Like when that one day when we're all older and Araki officially dies of old age or whatever, it's gonna be sad because we're not gonna get any more JoJo manga from him, you know. And it's like, what are we gonna do now? You know, like it's gonna be a sad day.
this past. God damn, it has to be like 25 minutes by now, right? Araki never forgets. He just moves on.
Basically, he forgets.
But honestly, who cares? JoJo's is an incredible concept with gorgeous execution and mass appeal the world over. It's so easy to ignore such a small in comparison flaw like this because of the bountiful enjoyment available elsewhere, even if you don't like the series as a whole. And believe me when I say there are people like that.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
always going to be something commendable about one of the 8 distinct, unique, and stunning.
There's gonna be something you're gonna like about it. You know, you can't like that's the thing. When I tell people to watch it, I tell people to watch all of it. You know, I want people to watch every single one of all of it, every single part of the month, like 1 through 8. You know, because there's gonna be something in there that you might like. You can't just watch one part and be like, I don't like the rest of the show. You haven't even watched it yet. You know, you haven't even given it a chance. There's gonna be something that you're going to like there because everything is different. There's no like the path, like everything is different. Everything is unique. There's nothing the same about two parts. You know what I mean? They're all different, man. It's just dumb to try to like for JoJo at least. It's dumb to try to like. It's easy for people to judge a whole show based off of one episode or one part of an episode. You can't do that with JoJo. You cannot. You really cannot do that with JoJo. You literally have to watch all of them and understand what is going on for every single part and find which one that you like the most. You're going to like something. I mean, you're going to like something. You can't, you know, it's just JoJo. No, JoJo is not One Piece. One Piece is trash. One Piece. Okay, I'm not a I'm not a One Piece fan. Okay, like I don't like One Piece. One Piece is not my cup of tea personally because I don't like the animation style. I don't like the art style. It's just not my thing. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Just look it up on Netflix and you'll find it. All right, and look it up on Netflix or something, and Crunchyroll or something. You'll find it. Please and thank you.
Art. So long as you strap in for the ride, Araki will ensure your time with his passion project is truly a golden experience.
For real.
Thank you for watching.
I know it's gold experience, but
golden experience. Thank you for watching.
Good video. You don't have Netflix? Oh damn, that sucks. Hey Tyrone. You don't have Netflix? You can watch 2-Bit TV too. My mom has 2-Bit TV. You can go to it's on Hulu. If you have ad blocker on your if you have ad blocker, we call it. If you have ad blocker on your browser, you can go to 9anime.com and you'll be able to find it. It's just 9 and then anime. But if you have that's only if you have ad blocker. If you don't have ad blocker, you're gonna have pictures of anime titties on your on your screen while you're watching anime. If that's fine with you, go ahead. Like honestly, I use Nine Anime for my anime needs. All right, so it's up to you, man. All right, I'm gonna change the title and thumbnail when I after this because yeah. It's time to keep it mellow. Yeah, you can't build muscle with calisthenics. It doesn't work like that. Oh my god. I don't know why people think that. You can't. Okay? The thing about calisthenics, weight training, right? Body weight training, because body weight training is your body getting used to lifting your body, your muscles are getting used to lifting your own body weight, right? You can't gain muscle like that. You gain muscle by taking things and drinking and lifting above your own body weight, right? You have to lift above your body weight to actually gain some shit, you know? I mean that I'm not a art, weightlifting trying to keep it mellow. I don't know if they're gonna do Stone Ocean. Hopefully they do, because that if they do make Stone Ocean, that's a good way to end it in the JoJo run, because I don't know. It's just like it's a good start because it's not like there's anything after it anyway, outside of like alternate timelines and shit like that in the manga. So I don't know. We'll see.
So we have JoJo conclude at 39 episodes. It's been almost a year since part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure came out, and as always, I'm sad to see it end. I'm sad to see another part wrap up because it's such a fantastic series. It has brought me honestly a lot of joy. I remember years ago, like 4 or so plus years ago, when I finally got on to watching JoJo. I remember I was just mesmerized by just how high quality it was, and just how I kind of held back from watching it for so long. And just to think now, I am now looking at the conclusion of part 5, and I'm literally about to.
What? Hey, Toxic. Play some games. I'm subbing. I'll play some games tomorrow. Okay, look, I'll play some games tomorrow. Don't worry. At 1 to something. So when you gonna take your clothes off? Kidding. Oh, I mean, you already said it. Look, man, I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Not really, but hey, Jack. Look, man, you don't make jokes around. My nips ain't even showing. Okay. Oh, whoa. Why does it look bigger on? It looks bigger on screen. You see the stretch marks? I work out. Yeah, I work out. I do calisthenics. All right. I'm a big buff boy. You want to fuck with me? All right. I'm a big buff boy. I'm a big buff boy. What? You want some of this buffness? You don't want none of this buffness. I want all this buffness. Ugh. Yay. Look, Jack. Hey, look. I'm not the one who wanted me to do this, all right? I'm not the one who asked for it, all right? Y'all asked for this. Y'all asked for this, bro. You know that? Y'all asked for this. You asked for this. You asked for this. Sir, put the titties away. Look, chill out. Hey, YouTube ain't gonna do anything to me. All right, look. I can see real YouTubers don't wear pants on screen. True. You know what? They don't. You're right. You're right, Leaf. They don't. They don't wear pants on screen. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry, Jack. You don't wear pants, bro. Hold on. I need a bigger shirt. Hold up. I don't wear pants. You don't wear pants on screen. Ugh. Ugh. I'm still trying to get my pants off. Look at my knee. Okay. All right, it's time for y'all to leave now. I am officially wilding. All right, I'm officially wilding. Go ahead, get out of here. Get out, everybody. Get out. All right, let me put my pants back on. Niggas wilding, bro. That's how we do. All right. Look, I could be one of two ways. I could be smart, or I could be dumb as fuck. Okay. Niggas wilding. Niggas wilding. Look, bro. Y'all asked for it. Y'all don't be upset when I actually do it. All right. All right. I think that's enough. It's time to go to sleep. Or time to get some help. I don't know. Oh. Anyway, thank you guys.